The listening post was old, rusty, lonely, forgotten. It floated quietly in deep space, on the edge of Sector 91. No one had touched it in over 100 years. The stars around it were dead. No life, no movement, just silence. Inside the station, only one being was awake. His name was Trinvoke. He was a low-rank Zaran technician. He hated this job. He hated the silence. But tonight, something changed. A sound, a signal, faint, strange. His hands trembled as he leaned forward. The screen flickered. Strange patterns danced across it, dots and lines. A code. What is this? Trinvoke whispered. He ran the signal through the translation engine. It refused at first. The language was ancient, almost extinct. Then the words appeared. To anyone still out there, Earth remembers. Trinvoke stared. His blood turned cold. That word, Earth, that was impossible. Earth was dead. Humanity was extinct. 2 centuries ago, the Zarn Dominion had wiped them out. They'd seen the flames, the nuclear fires, the burning oceans. Earth was gone, wasn't it? He replayed the message again and again. It was real. The signal was weak, but clear. And it came from deep space, too far to be a ghost or echo. Earth had sent it. He pressed the emergency beacon. Red lights flared. Backup systems turned on. For the first time in 112 years, listening post Satanine became active, and somewhere in the shadows of space, someone noticed high above the Zarn homeworld, in the Grand Council Hall. The signal was being examined by the best minds in the Dominion. Admiral Roth looked angry. This is nothing. Just broken human tech floating in space. No, replied Advisor Kell. The signal is fresh. The encryption style is new, not from before the war. Chancellor Drovik stared at the hologram of Earth. You all know the history. Earth burned. We crushed their colonies. We saw their last ship explode. Humanity is gone. But one voice, small and calm, broke the silence. Dr. Rilla, a scientist who had once studied human behavior, leaned forward. What if they weren't gone? What if they went silent? On purpose. Everyone turned to her. They were unpredictable. She continued. Extremely dangerous. They didn't think like us. They turned every war into a trap. What if they disappeared so they could grow stronger? The room grew cold. They lost their world, she added. But maybe that made them more dangerous. 3 days later, the Dominion sent a scout ship to follow the signal. It entered the star system where the message came from. The system had no planets, just asteroids, ice, dust. The scout ship scanned everything. Nothing, until it found something. Strange metal buried in one of the asteroids. A satellite, old but not ancient. Human technology. Captain Joro ordered it brought aboard. When the engineers opened it, it began to blink, and then it spoke. If you found this, then the silence is over. The lights inside the ship went out one by one, systems failed, and then, the ship was gone. No distress call, no debris. Just vanished. Back in the Dominion capital, panic started to rise. 2 more scout ships were sent. The first one found a derelict station orbiting a dead moon. Inside, footprints, human boots, fresh, recent, but no bodies, no crew, just a message written in dust. We're watching. The second scout ship never even made it past the first jump. It disappeared during FTL travel. Logs showed one final scan before blackout. An unknown object following them, at impossible speed. Now the whispers spread. Humans are back. They're hiding in deep space. They're building something. They never died. In the outer colonies, small Zarn patrols started going missing. Whole outposts were found abandoned, tools still warm. Food still on tables. One Dominion captain sent a single word before vanishing. Ghost. Admiral Roth stood before the council again. We must strike first, he demanded. Find whatever is out there and destroy it before it becomes dangerous. But Dr. Rila shook her head. They are already dangerous. You just can't see them. She showed new evidence. Strange energy readings, cloaked movements, non-Zarn signal spikes, all pointing to a massive fleet hiding somewhere. They are not rebuilding, she said softly. They are waiting. A secret transmission was sent to all Dominion military leaders. Level, red thread, message, be prepared for human contact. If found, engage with extreme caution. They may have evolved beyond known capabilities. Do not underestimate. Repeat, do not underestimate. But it was already too late, because in the farthest edges of space, near a silent neutron star, something moved. A giant object, black, silent, the size of a small moon, drifted from the shadow of the star. No signal, no heat. Just movement. Then behind it, more shapes appeared. Ships. Not XARN. Not any known species. but Earth-built. Each one sleek, black and completely silent. They floated like predators, waiting, and then just for a second one of them, too cloaked, a single human word appeared on all nearby frequencies, begin, and vanished again. Back on listening post, Saturnine Trinvok sat alone. He kept watching the signal. It was growing stronger now, more clear, more focused. Suddenly, his screen changed. A face appeared. Human, male, cold eyes. He stared into the camera. His voice was calm. "You thought we died. You thought Earth was finished. You played a dangerous game. Now it's our turn." The screen went black. Trinvok began to scream. He knew what was coming, and it was extremely dangerous. The Dominion sent a new scout group this time, for ships, bigger, armed, ready. Their mission: find the source of the Earth signal. Their orders: engage if needed. Their fear quiet but growing. Captain Herrick led the squad. He was a veteran, tall and cold, known for never hesitating in battle, but even he felt something strange about this mission. These humans, he said before launch, if they're alive, they're not the same. The scouts jumped into the void. Sector 93. Empty space. No planets. No stars. Just black dust. One of the pilots, Roland, checked his radar. "Nothing here," he said. But then, something flickered. A shape. Not natural. Too perfect. Long, sharp. It was a shipwreck or part of one half buried in asteroid dust. They moved closer. Where they found froze them. It was not Dominion tech. It was Zella, an ancient empire that died 1,000 years ago. But this wreck had cuts. Clean slices through its armor, Roland whispered. Something did this. Something very dangerous. Captain Herrick ordered full scan. The computers responded. No known weapon could cause such precision, not even Dominion plasma lancers. "Could it be human?" Roland asked. "No," Herrick replied. "Humans didn't have this tech. Not before," Roland said. "But maybe now." That silence again. The same cold fear. They moved deeper into the asteroid field. Suddenly, Ship 3 lost power. Alarms blared. Were hit. No systems offline. No impact, no sound, just the voice cut out. The rest turned quickly, forming combat formation. Found Ship 3 drifting, no lights, no crew response. Like it had just shut down. Then came the signal. Faint, whispered, human voice. "We see you." Ship 2 fired blindly into the rocks. Nothing. Then a shadow moved. A massive ship, black like the night, passed silently above them. No engines, no weapons fired. Just presence. The Dominion ships tried to follow. It vanished. "That's impossible," Harrock said. "It didn't jump. It just disappeared." "They're not playing war," Roland muttered. "They're playing a dangerous game." The Dominion scouts returned with data but no courage. Harrock gave his full report to the High Command. "They're using tech we don't understand. Energy cloaks, silent jammers, maybe worse. They're not attacking, they're observing." Chancellor Drovik slammed his fist on the table. "Then destroy them before they become a problem." But Dr. Rila leaned in again. "You don't get it," she said softly. "We've already entered dangerous territory. They're letting us see what they want. They've already won the first move." Admiral Vroth shook his head. "We are the strongest power in the galaxy," Dr. Rila replied. "And yet, you are afraid." That night, strange things began to happen in other systems. On planet Gratha, a Dominion science facility shut down completely when troops entered. To investigate, they found the walls covered in words. "You burned Earth. Now you will learn how Earth burns." On Station Kala 7, the AI core began to play human music songs from before the extinction. The crew was later found unconscious. No injuries, just fear in their eyes. "They were here," one said. "They walked among us." Now, rumors spread across Dominion space. "The humans are back. They walk in shadows. They are using something beyond science. They are testing us." Even soldiers began to crack. One refused to fly patrol. He said, "They appeared in my dreams. They watched me. We're not fighting men. We're fighting something dangerous." Back at listening post Satanin, Trinvok kept hearing whispers on every channel. No one believed him. Then, one night, a new message came through. Only one sentence. "You looked for ghosts. Now ghosts look for you." The Dominion's top analysts gathered again. They pieced together the sightings, the wrecks, the strange energy, signatures. A pattern began to emerge. It wasn't random. Earth's fleet was moving. Slowly, silently, surrounding Dominion space. One system at a time. Then came the final proof. A deep space observatory in Sector 101 picked up a massive energy signature. Was not Dominion. It wasn't Zella, Breleth, or any known race. It was something new, something huge. From the void came a shape, a battle cruiser, 3 times larger than the Dominion's strongest warships. The energy scan read, stable, cloaked, silent. Until it didn't. The ship decloaked for exactly 6 seconds, enough for the cameras to capture it. Black metal, red glowing core, human markings. Then gone. Dr. Rilla was shown the footage. She said nothing at first. Then quietly, this is not the return of an old enemy. This is the arrival of something lethally dangerous. The Grand Council met one final time. They had a choice. Send a peace probe, launch a full military attack on the suspected Earth fleet, do nothing and hope they disappear again. They chose option 2, a dangerous decision, because they didn't know yet. Earth was not hiding. Earth was hunting. Admiral Vela sat alone in the dark war chamber. Outside the window, hundreds of Dominion ships floated ready, alert, tense. She stared at the hologram on the table. It showed the old symbol of Earth, a blue sphere with green lands. Once alive, now dead, or so they believed. The new reports had changed everything. Vela had fought in the final human war 2 centuries ago. She had seen things, dangerous things. She never forgot. She remembered Earth's soldiers. Not many, not well equipped, but something made them deadly. They were born on a world that tried to kill them every day, she whispered. They learned to survive the impossible. Earth had hurricanes that crushed cities, animals that poisoned with a single bite, cold that froze metal. Heat that burned sand into glass. Humans weren't just strong, they were shaped by a world more dangerous than any enemy. In the final days of the war, the Dominion had surrounded Earth. The humans had nowhere to run, but instead of surrendering, they laughed. They sent out a final message, come and take it. Then Earth's own sky caught fire. Nuclear storms, EMP blasts, fires that ate continents. The humans destroyed their own world just to deny it to the Dominion. Admiral Vela had watched the flames from orbit. She thought that was the end, but now, they were back, and worse, they were quiet. A loud enemy is angry, she muttered. A silent enemy is planning something dangerous. Elsewhere in the Dominion, more signs appeared. Ships disappearing near dark stars, outposts turning off, like candles. In one case, a Dominion battlecruiser entered a nebula and found floating heads, fake, plastic, but made to look human. A warning. On planet Calva's Dominion Marines explored a cave system. Deep inside, they found human writing burned into stone. This place belongs to the dead. Their sensors stopped working, their lights failed. When they got back to the surface, 4 soldiers were missing. No blood, no fight. Just gone, back in the council chambers. Some still refused to believe. It's tricks, Admiral Vroth said. Psychological games. Dr. Rila disagreed. This isn't fear they're spreading. It's memory. They want us to remember what they were. What they are now. She showed an image. A human warship found half-cloaked, drifting silently near a Dominion gas mine. It had no weapons out, but its hull had strange writing scratched into it. A list of Dominion colony names. All of them had disappeared years ago without a trace. They're not returning for war, Rila said. They're returning for revenge. Admiral Vela visited the Hall of History, a vault filled with war records, trophies, and captured weapons. She stood before the last human battlesuit, black, armor heavy, burnt. But the visor still worked. She activated it. A message played. If you are seeing this, it means we lost. But loss for us is never final. You may burn Earth, but remember fire spreads. Her hands trembled. That same voice, the human voice, was now heard in recent audio logs from Dominion ships before vanishing. Same tone. Same calm. Same danger. They're not just survivors, Vela whispered. They've become something more dangerous. A week later, Earth's fleet made its first move. 3 Dominion colonies, Rosca, Ventura, and Cole, were cut off. No messages in or out. Ships sent to help went missing. Surveillance footage showed only one thing, a shadow across the sky, followed by silence. Not fire. Not bombs. Just silence. Then came the message. You forgot the cost of fire. We came to remind you. Dominion commanders tried to fight back. They launched a strike into the suspected region of the Earth fleet. Only 1 ship returned, burned, broken, crew missing. 1 survivor wrote on the wall in his blood before dying. They are not human anymore. The council was now afraid. Even Admiral Vroth stopped speaking. They had started the war. Now they were seeing its echo. An echo with a pulse, with teeth. Admiral Vela looked up at the stars that night. They are not returning to take planets, she said to herself. They are returning to take fear, to become the danger we once thought they were. She didn't sleep, because she knew The true memory of war wasn't written in books, it was flying silently across the stars, and Earth was writing the next chapter. The stars were silent. The war was over, but the wounds remained. Across the galaxy, Dominion systems were broken, quiet, lost in fear. But the Earthborn fleet did not celebrate. They did not raise flags. They did not take prisoners. They simply waited and watched. Their message had been sent. Their purpose was nearly complete. On the Dominion homeworld of Zarkon, Admiral Vela stood before the ruins of the Grand Council Hall, the place where the war against Earth had first begun. 200 years ago now, only one screen remained. It glowed with a single sentence, written in human language: "You played a dangerous game. Now it's your turn to be watched." Above her, in orbit, the Earthborn fleet hovered silent, still, endless. Then they moved. Not toward the planet, not toward the stars. They turned inward, back toward the dark sectors of space, back toward the void. Admiral Vela watched in silence as thousands of ships faded into nothing. One by one, no flashes, no jumps, just vanishing. "Where are they going?" asked her aide. "They're not retreating," she whispered. "They're returning." Back in Dominion command centers, chaos turned to confusion. The entire Earthborn fleet had left no trace. Scouts were sent after them. No signals, no trails, just emptiness. The most dangerous force the galaxy had ever seen had disappeared like it had never existed. Some believed they returned to their secret core world deep beyond the black hole. Others said they moved into a hidden dimension. A few whispered that they became something beyond ships, beyond species, beyond revenge, but they left one final transmission. It reached every system in the galaxy, every screen, every satellite, every ship. It was not a threat, it was not a message of power, it was a warning. The voice was human, cold, calm/steady. "We are not your rulers. We are not your enemy. We are your reflection. We became dangerous because you showed us danger. Now we vanish not in fear but in purpose. Let this be the last war of extinction. Let this galaxy learn to fear not Earth, but its own choices, because one day we might return." And then silence. Total. Eternal. No more Earthborn signals were ever heard. No more ships were seen. No human voice crossed the stars again. Centuries passed. New empires rose. Old ones fell. But one name remained on every forbidden list. One race never insulted, never attacked, never searched for humanity. And across the darkest corners of the galaxy, a phrase became legend. They believed humans were extinct, but Earth's fleet arrived. And even now, in forgotten places, in silent skies, sometimes ships vanish. Sometimes a strange signal echoes. Sometimes a message appears on empty screens. We remember, we are watching. Do not play a dangerous game with the ghosts of Earth. The Dominion had waited long enough. They sent Fleet Group Epsilon over 70 warships into Sector 110. This was where the ghost signals came from. This was where the shadows moved. Admiral Krell commanded the fleet. He was a warrior, old and proud. "We end this today," he said. "No more fear, no more silence." But his officers looked uneasy. They had seen the reports. They had heard the stories. Ships vanishing without a sound. Messages that chilled the bones. And always the same words whispered again and again. "This is no longer a war. This is a warning." The fleet arrived near a dead star. It was cold, black, pulsing with strange gravity. Around it drifted space debris, just floating metal and dust. Or so they thought. "Scan everything," Admiral Krell ordered. But nothing moved. Nothing glowed. It was too quiet. "Sir, energy readings are low," a tech officer said. "No signs of human presence." "No signs?" Krell asked. "Just one small station, orbiting close to the dead star." It was a tiny base, barely the size of a freighter. No shields, no heat, no defense. Too easy. "Send in a strike team," Krell commanded. 6 dropships launched. They reached the station. No resistance, no traps, just silence. The strike team broke open the doors. Inside, nothing. Empty rooms, dust. A single terminal, still working. One soldier touched it. A message appeared. "You entered dangerous territory. Now learn what danger feels like." The screen turned black. Then it began. The dead star wasn't a star. It blinked. Shifted. And slowly the light changed. Panels opened. Engines flared. The dead star was actually a cloaked human battle station, built to look like part of space. "It's moving," shouted an officer. "That's not a star, it's a weapon." Too late. From behind the asteroids, dozens of human ships, decloaked black armor. No lights, no engine trails. They moved like ghosts, fast, silent, brutal. The Dominion fleet fired. The space lit up with plasma, missiles, lasers, but nothing hit. Earth's ships danced through the fire in perfect formation, almost like one. Then they struck. A single beam, thin white, silent, cut through one Dominion cruiser. No explosion, no warning, just gone. They're using a new kind of weapon, Krell shouted. Some kind of energy slicer. Another cruiser fell, and another. Within 90 seconds, 5 Dominion warships were destroyed. No debris, no escape pods. No sound. Krell called for retreat, but all exit paths were blocked. The cloaked battle station powered up again. Its central cannon glowed. One Dominion dreadnought tried to ram at full speed. The beam fired. The dreadnought broke into two. The front half drifted. The back half vaporized. This is not war, Krell screamed. This is a dangerous experiment, some kind of impossible weapon. On every Dominion ship, the same message appeared. This battle was a lesson. You didn't just attack Earth, you created something that remembers and we never forget. By the end of the 9th minute, the Dominion had lost 43 ships. The rest were crippled. Admiral Krell's flagship was surrounded. Then the human ships stopped. No more fire. No more death. Just silence. And a final message. You believed we were extinct. You were wrong. Then Earth's fleet vanished, cloaked again, like ghosts slipping into shadows. Only wreckage remained. No survivors were recovered. Back on the Dominion capital, panic spread like fire. Some screamed for peace, others for revenge. But most said nothing. They had seen the truth. They had provoked something extremely dangerous. Dr. Rilla addressed the council that night. They warned us. We didn't listen. Now they are not coming to fight. They are coming to rewrite the galaxy. Admiral Vela sat in her private chamber. She played the human message over and over. It didn't sound angry. It sounded patient, cold, like a creature that waited centuries to bite. And now, it had tasted blood. The Dominion called the battle at Sector 110 a mistake, a small loss, a surprise. But the truth was spreading faster than they could hide it. Something had changed. Fear was no longer in the stars. Now it lived inside the hearts of the Dominion people. Because Earth had done something no one expected. They didn't just win the first strike. They began speaking from the grave. It started with a sound, not an explosion, not a scream, but a human song. An old Earth melody, haunting, beautiful. It played through the emergency channels of Dominion stations. No one knew how, no source, no transmission ID, but all across the Dominion. The same song echoed in the silence. Then came the images. Screens flickered, cameras broke, but on every device, the same videos appeared. Cities burning, Earth soldiers standing in ruins, children waving goodbye before boarding escape ships, and always the same cold human voice. This is not about war, this is about memory, and we remember everything. On the mining colony, machines began to fail. Engines froze. Drills stopped. The workers found a strange crate near the control tower. It wasn't there the day before. Inside, a black helmet, human design, still warm, on the side. Written in perfect Dominion language. We never left. Soldiers across the frontier began to desert. They whispered that Earth's ships were watching them. Some claimed to see black shadows in the sky. Others swore they heard whispers at night. We remember you. You were there when Earth burned. Now we burn brighter. On Station Myrixate, a group of Dominion officers gathered in the war room. They tried to contact command. All channels blocked. Instead, a human face appeared on the main screen. Still, not angry, just disappointed. You've built many weapons, he said, but never learned when to stop. We are what comes after you break the rules of war. We are the cost of your victory. Then the lights went out. For 5 minutes, the station was silent. When power returned, the words were burned into the wall. You played a dangerous game. Panic spread across every world. Recruitment numbers dropped. Commanders refused to patrol black sectors. A general from the core planets even resigned, saying, "We are not fighting an army. We are being hunted by ghosts." But Earth wasn't just trying to scare. They were marking territory on 5 former human colonies now held by the Dominion. New satellites appeared overnight. Each one broadcasted a simple phrase. Under Earth's protection, when Dominion drones tried to approach, they vanished. No weapon fire. Just disappearance. Admiral Vela studied the growing list of strange events. It wasn't strategy, it wasn't full invasion. It was psychological warfare, and it was working. They want us afraid to move, she told the council. Afraid to speak, afraid to sleep. It's already happening, Dr. Rilla added. Even our AIs are picking up encrypted Earth signals. They don't ask for peace. They don't demand surrender. They only ask that we remember. One day, a Dominion carrier discovered a derelict station in the middle of nowhere. No ID. Just floating. The crew boarded it. Inside, no life, only walls covered with names, millions of names, human names, soldiers, civilians, scientists, children, all burned in Earth's final war. A small screen turned on, one sentence: "This is what extinction looked like. Now imagine it from your side." Later, Admiral Roth tried to launch another assault. His fleet reached the edge of Sector 115. They never entered, because floating in their path was a massive black ship. Shipped alone, no weapons active. It broadcasted a list of names, not human, but Dominion, all the commanders who had approved Earth's destruction. One by one. With full details, one word beneath each name. Watched. Roth turned the fleet back. He refused to speak. Some say he never spoke again. Now, the Dominion people themselves began to question everything. Some asked, did we really destroy Earth, or just awaken it? Others whispered, if they're not human anymore, what are they? In secret, small Dominion rebel groups began to rise. They didn't want to fight Earth. They wanted to leave the war, but it was too late. The galaxy was already marked. Earth was no longer a forgotten world. It was a name, spoken in fear. A force that didn't conquer by fire but by haunting memory. Dr. Riddler watched the latest broadcasts from her lab. She stared at one final message that played again and again. You erased our history, so now we write it into your bones. And somewhere in deep space, the Earth fleet prepared for what came next. They weren't finished, because this wasn't about territory, this wasn't about revenge. This was about showing the galaxy what happens when you call the most unpredictable species extinct, and they return not as survivors, but as incredibly dangerous ghosts. The Dominion could no longer hide it. Earth was not extinct. Its fleet was real. Its messages were everywhere. But one question remained. Where was Earth now? Where was their home, their heart, their core? Admiral Vela stood before the Dominion High Command. She pointed to a star map marked with black zones, ghost signals, and lost ships. There's a pattern, she said. Every shadow, every attack, is drawing us in. Drawing us where? Asked the Chancellor. Here, she replied, circling one system. This is not just a random sector. It is controlled by gravity. Hidden behind a black hole, I believe. This is where Earth built its final stronghold. The Council was silent. Then they voted. The mission was approved. The target, a strange system called null-vane. No planets, no stars, just a black hole and dead space. The Dominion would send its strongest fleet yet. 140 ships. Admiral Vela led the armada into the dark. It took them 4 days to reach Nullvane. The closer they came, the quieter space became. Their scanners failed. Their comms lagged. Ships drifted off course by invisible forces. This is wrong, said the sensor officer. The gravity here is moving like it's alive. Keep going, Vela ordered. We find the human core. Then, they saw it. Not a planet, not a station, but a giant artificial world, hidden in orbit around the black hole. It rotated slowly, black metal skin. No windows, no lights. It looked abandoned, but they knew better. That's not a base, whispered one captain. That's a trap. That, Vela said, is Earth's true home now. The Dominion fleet approached carefully. Then, a voice appeared. Human.com/deep. You have arrived at your final choice. Enter, or turn back. Vela answered, we're coming in. They sent scout ships. The first vanished. The second returned shaking, damaged. The pilot had no words. He simply said, they control the laws of physics here. This place is a weapon. It's unpredictably dangerous. Vela gave the order. Enter. The fleet moved in. As they crossed into the shadow of the artificial world, everything changed. Time bent. Distances shifted. 2 ships flew side by side, then were suddenly light years apart. Others turned their engines on, but nothing moved. One ship, aged 20 years in 10 seconds, its crew turned to dust. Vela's flagship shook violently. Their sensors showed the impossible. Space folding in on itself. This isn't a base, her officer gasped. It's a dangerous experiment, and we're inside it. And then, the humans spoke again. You asked what extinction feels like. Now live in it. Earth's ships uncloaked. Not many, only 7. But they didn't need more because they were different. Their engines didn't burn, they warped. Their hulls bent reality. They didn't fire missiles, they fired gravity. One Dominion cruiser turned its guns toward a human ship and disappeared in a flash of white. Not destroyed. Just erased. The crew never screamed. They never knew. They were gone. Admiral Vela ordered full retreat, but the exit path was gone. The stars had moved, or the space around them had. They were trapped inside a living machine, built by human minds that no longer thought like the old Earth. They didn't just survive, Vela whispered. They evolved into something lethally dangerous. Her comes lit up again. A final message. You wanted to see the human core. Now feel it. We are not a planet anymore. We are a principle. We are what comes after extinction. Suddenly the world released them, not destroyed, not chased, just released. The surviving ships barely 20 limped away from Nolvain when they reached normal space. Their clocks showed that only 10 minutes had passed, but the logs recorded 3 days, and the oldest officer aboard had turned to Ashdod back at the Dominion capital. The footage caused chaos. Scientists couldn't explain it. Generals couldn't stop it. No one could understand it. No one could understand it. Vela stood before the council, her voice calm but shaking. Earth is no longer a homeworld. It is a dangerous force. A phantom empire built on memory, pain, and silence, and now it has a name. She uploaded the last translation from human language, the core fleet. We are extinction's answer. And far away, deep in the shadow of the black hole, Earth's core watched, waited, and prepared for the final phase. The Dominion had made every mistake. They ignored the first signal. They dismissed the early warnings. They walked into dangerous territory with pride thinking they still ruled the stars, but now Earth was no longer sending warnings, it was sending warships. Admiral Vela stood before her officers. Her face was pale, her voice low. Prepare the defenses, she said. The Earthborn fleet is coming. Across Dominion space, sirens rang. Planets went into lockdown. Stations armed every weapon they had. Fleet Command moved 500 ships to the central sector to fight, but they didn't understand what they were facing, because Earth wasn't sending old models, they weren't sending humans. Born of fear, they were sending something new, something built for this final moment. The first ship appeared, above the gas giant Tyr Ross. Alone, silent, massive, its black hole was shaped like a blade. Its engines made no sound, no heat, no trail. Dominion scanners couldn't read it. AI systems broke trying to analyze it. When one Zaan officer stared too long at the screen, he said, "That's not a ship, that's a judgment." Then 20 more appeared, then 50, then hundreds, all identical, all terrifying. Each one bore the same symbol, a cracked Earth, wrapped in fire. The Dominion tried to hail them, no answer. They launched fighters. The human fleet didn't react, until the first missile was fired. Then the real war began. The Earthborn ships did not use traditional weapons, they used force fields to bend attacks back toward enemy ships. They sliced through Dominion cruisers using particle beams that moved faster than light. Their weapons didn't just destroy, they deleted. One moment a ship existed, the next it was erased, like it had never been built. "We're not fighting enemies," said a Dominion commander. "We're facing a dangerous force of nature." Then came the Earthborn soldiers, genetically enhanced, armored in dark suits, eyes glowing with data feeds. Not human, not machine, something in between. They dropped onto Dominion outposts without warning, like shadows with blades. They didn't speak, they didn't hesitate, and they didn't leave survivors. One Zaan soldier tried to surrender. He dropped his weapon, raised his hands. The Earthborn soldier walked past him, whispered only one sentence: "We're not here to conquer, we're here to end it." The Dominion fleet panicked. Hundreds of ships scattered in every direction, but the Earthborn ships moved like a net cutting off every exit. Their strategy was cold, mathematical, perfect. Vela watched it unfold. "They're not fighting us," she said. "They're cleaning up what's left of a dangerous mistake." Dominion Command tried to launch its secret superweapon, a planet-sized railgun hidden in a dark moon. It fired once at the largest Earth ship, a direct hit. The blast vaporized the ship, but 2 seconds later it reappeared, completely unharmed. Then it fired back. The moon cracked in half. Nothing remained. The stars were burning. Earthborn warships moved through each sector fast, silent, ruthless. They didn't take territory. They didn't claim prizes. They left only messages behind. "This system is no longer yours. Earth remembers, Earth returns." In a last desperate move, the Dominion pulled back all surviving fleets to one final defense line around their homeworld. Zarkon.Vela stood on the bridge of the last dreadnought. She looked into space, then she saw them. Thousands of Earthborn ships covering the stars like a black tide, and leading them, A single vessel larger than anything the galaxy had ever seen, the Earthborn flagship. Its core glowed red, its engines were invisible, and its surface carried names etched into the armor, names of every human lost in the war. The Earthborn commander sent one final message to the Dominion. This is not revenge. This is your reflection. You created us. Now watch what we've become. No shots fired. No speeches. Just silence. And then the sky fell. The Earthborn fleet attacked with such precision, such power, that even the Dominion's last defenders gave up. Some turned their weapons on themselves. Others dropped to their knees because they knew this wasn't a war anymore. This was justice shaped into ships, soldiers, and silence. And just as quickly as they came, the Earthborn fleet stopped. They didn't destroy the Dominion homeworld. They simply surrounded it, watched and waited back on Earth's flagship. The commander stared at the silent planet below. Let them live, he said. Let them remember. They thought we were extinct. Now they'll remember that we are the galaxy's most dangerous.